There were once 9,000 of them, and now there is just one. Just one Blockbuster video store remaining. Here is the story of the last Blockbuster. Hi there, everyone. It's Jeff, and this is Plain English for Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Here at Plain English, we tell stories about current events and trending topics, and by listening to those stories, you get to learn about the world, and you also get to learn new words and new ways of expressing ideas in English. Well, Blockbuster Video is not a trending topic today, but it was once. The video rental store with the blue and yellow logo had 9,000 locations at its peak, but those days are long gone. Today, there is just one Blockbuster video store left. Many years after all the other Blockbusters closed, a single, locally owned store hangs on in the town of Bend, Oregon. Today's episode is a classic episode of Plain English. It was episode number 355, and it came out in April 2021, 4 years ago. And yes, I checked. The last Blockbuster is still open, at least as of today. Here's the story. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story. They were everywhere. Bright blue signs, yellow lettering, uniformed employees, snacks by the checkout, a unique smell, a drop-off bin, and rows of video cassettes, later DVDs, for rent. I'm talking about Blockbuster Video, the biggest video rental chain, which at its peak had over 9,000 stores in 14 countries. Today, there is one. There is one open and operating, surviving Blockbuster Video. It is in a city called Bend, a college town in the northwestern American state of Oregon. The last remaining Blockbuster Video is independently owned by a franchisee who continues to license the name and brand from Dish Networks, which acquired Blockbuster years ago. The Blockbuster story dates back to the early days of home video. When Sony released its first home video cassette player, consumers could, for once, watch movies at home on their own time and schedule. Movie studios were happy to sell copies of their movies on VHS cassette for $100. From their standpoint, a home movie represented a lost ticket at the theater, so they priced videos extremely high. And so, some enterprising entrepreneurs decided they would buy all the latest movies and just rent them out by the night. And just like that, the video rental business was born. Movie studios later came around, reducing the price of their VHS cassettes, but it didn't matter. Consumers were hooked on the convenience and selection of video rental. At the beginning, the industry was dominated by local or small regional chains. There was always a problem, though. The local video store never seemed to have enough copies of the latest movies. Blockbuster's main innovation was to buy lots and lots of copies of the latest movies, so customers could always find the latest hits. They then sold their spare copies to their customers at a discount once the initial excitement faded. Using their scale and their franchise model, Blockbuster bought up regional chains and came to dominate the video rental industry. Video rental served as a community hub and a traditional activity for Friday nights, holidays, and sick days. For anyone born between, say, 1975 and 1995, Blockbuster was part of the social fabric of childhood and adolescence. Blockbuster stores also provided an enviable employment opportunity for teenagers the world over. It sure beat working at a grocery store. But Blockbuster's dominance did not last forever. Legend has it, and this is according to stories told by Reed Hastings. Legend has it that Netflix founders approached Blockbuster and offered to sell Blockbuster their company. They offered to sell Netflix to Blockbuster for just $50 million in the year 2000. Again, according to legend. But according to legend, they were laughed out of the room. Netflix, we all know, came to dominate at-home consumption of movies, first by sending DVDs by mail, and now through its streaming platform. Blockbuster didn't go quietly. Many people don't remember this now, but Blockbuster created a multi-platform business where customers could stream videos online, rent them from kiosks, or go to one of its stores. Blockbuster by mail was the same as Netflix in the early days. The problem was that Blockbuster was saddled with debt. When Netflix made $1 in profit, they could reinvest that dollar in improving the product and the experience. When Blockbuster made $1, however, they had to use that dollar to pay down debt. Corporate debt can be good for companies in stable industries, but Blockbuster was being disrupted. It couldn't afford to innovate and service its debt at the same time. In the end, Netflix won big. Blockbuster had a franchise model. That means the company owned a number of stores, but the remaining stores were owned by local business owners who paid a franchise fee for the right to use the name and the brand and the systems. Most stores closed from lack of business. Dish Networks, a satellite TV provider, acquired Blockbuster out of bankruptcy in 2011. Just a few years later, in 2014, they realized there was no future in this business, and they closed the remaining 300 company stores. But not every franchisee went out of business. For years, 3 stores hung on in Alaska. They were featured on an episode of John Oliver Tonight and became something of a media curiosity. They eventually closed in 2018. The last holdout in Australia closed in 2019, leaving just one location. That one remaining store in Bend, Oregon, is owned by a local business owner. The store continues to license the Blockbuster brand from Dish Networks, which graciously continues to extend the relationship. They still use the same ancient computer systems. They have to, since nobody is updating video rental software anymore. The manager's name is Sandy. She says she's going down with the ship. She'll never quit as long as Blockbuster stays open. She's done hundreds of media interviews. Today, people visit from around the world. They can't believe one still exists. They enjoy the smell, they browse the stacks, they listen to the sound of DVDs sliding into the return bin. They pull their old Blockbuster cards from way back in their wallets. If you liked this story, then check out a new documentary called The Last Blockbuster. That documentary is streaming, where else? On Netflix. The documentary brings back good memories. Every Blockbuster VHS tape had the same case. It was a hard black plastic case with a plain white label and black text on it, identifying the title. The plastic on the spine was always peeling. They mention that in the documentary. They had interviews with the staff at the Bend, Oregon store, plus interviews with executives from Blockbuster, former executives from Blockbuster. The majority of the screen time was celebrities and entertainment industry people talking about their experiences and memories of Blockbuster. It was fun. If you have Netflix, check it out. It's called The Last Blockbuster. This was originally episode number 355, so you can find the transcript, translations, and exercises at plainenglish.com/355, plainenglish.com/355. We've done a lot of great stories over the years, so I like going back and picking out a few of the timeless ones to bump up to the top of your feed. The next episode will be number 794. So that means there are almost 800 Plain English stories in our history. They're all for you at plainenglish.com for your listening and learning pleasure. The next episode will be out on Monday, August 4th, and we're going to talk about a concept that is very much in the news these days, at least in the United States. It's called birthright citizenship. We'll We'll steer clear of the politics, but instead, we'll talk about what countries practice birthright citizenship and how citizenship works if you're born in a place without it. That's all on Monday. See you then. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word, and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com.